Thank you, Shelley. I'd like to welcome everybody today. First of all, I'll introduce myself in a moment, but I'd like to thank Tanya Albus, who's on our call today, who works at Room 217, who's going to be handling any of the technical requests. And also I'll be introducing Shelley, who has opened this call so beautifully with some harp music and who is going to be co-hosting the call with me today. It's exciting that we're here today. I'm here on Bev's behalf. My name is Dawn Ellis Mobbs, and I'm going to share my story and sort of the evolution of where we are with Room 217 in a moment, and walk through something that is extraordinarily exciting, which is really where Room 217 from the beginning to where it has evolved in the next iteration of the future and where it's going. And that's with a program that's called CERTIFY. So I'd like to thank all of you that have signed up for the masterclass today. You're all at least level 2 or 3. And so this is unique, and we've invited some of the level 2s and 3s for an information session because you're in the stage or in the process where you could become certified. So without further ado, I'll tell you a little bit about my story and my journey here to Room 217. So my name is Dawn Ellis Mobbs, and I am currently the Education Manager, a position that I began in August of this year. I know that I may have met some of you already, but for those that I haven't had the pleasure of meeting, I'm going to give you a little background of my story and my own journey to Room 217, which has been evolving for several years. As you know, storytelling and stories are an integral part of the history of Room 217. And I'm sure many of you have heard about the origins of Room 217 through Bev's own story, Bev Foster, the executive director. And I remember the very first time that I heard Bev's story. I was at one of the Music Care conferences that are usually run in November. And at the time, I was actually a classroom educator. And I was there because I was in a Master of Arts in Community Music program at Laurier. And Dr. Lee Willingham, who was originally on the board for Room 217, had put me in contact with Bev herself. But before that point, before I evolved from the world of community music, which is where I met Bev in Room 217, I actually began my own journey as a performance major, studying orchestral performance. I was a flautist, and I also did my undergrad at Laurier, but other studies at the Glenn Gould School. And I got to perform with the Royal Conservatory Orchestra and several others. But a lot of the work that I did personally would move into care spaces. So doing a lot of work connecting to retirement homes, long-term care, and just really having a deep-rooted passion for being a community musician or navigating in the community as a musician. And from there, I actually did my Bachelor of Education and began teaching in the classroom setting. And over the last 15 years or so, I've worked with students anywhere from JK through to grade 12 for about the last 15 years. And during this time, because I did so much work in the community, I was given a job as department head of arts for a regional program and helped design and develop a regional arts program in York Region that is about the integration of arts in community contexts. And from there, I actually was seconded to the Toronto Symphony as their Director of Education and Community Engagement, again, because of the connections that I had made through community contexts. But while I was in the classroom, a lot of the work that I had done in and around was connecting students through songwriting, composition, creative composition with care spaces in the community. So some of the work that I did connected with Sunnybrook, where the students would songwrite for veterans. Other work was looking at PTSD with first responders, and so when I came to the Toronto Symphony, actually the first phone call of my work career there was actually Bev Foster. And what's critical is to know that I started on March 9th, right before the pandemic hit. And this is a really important part of my story and leading up to the Certify process and why I'm here, because my job as Director of Education and Community Engagement was very much impacted by COVID, as you can imagine, because the orchestra was no longer able to gather on stage, and certainly not in large groups. So Bev and I worked together to design a training program for the youth orchestra, so the Toronto Symphony Youth Orchestra, working with young students from about grade 7 through to university. And we gave them training in care settings so that they could deliver care calls over Zoom and Google Meet into care spaces. And that was a beautiful way to connect families through music, and something that I learned a tremendous amount from. And so that program with the youth orchestra actually migrated up to the Toronto Symphony, and we ended up training 40 to 45 of the Toronto Symphony musicians, Bev did, in actual music care approach. And from there, I'm here. So from there, I have decided to accept a position as the education manager and really help launch and the great work that Bev has done over the years into what is now the Certify program. And so Music Care Certify, I'll get a little bit more into that and its evolution, but really there's organizational certification, products and services, and individuals. And the individual Certify program evolves from the music care standard training. And so I wanted to give you a little bit of background as to who I am and how I evolved here. But I have to say, I don't know if anybody has been to the conferences that Bev hosts, either virtually or in person, but I took, every year that I was working in high school, I took about 15 to 25 students to the conference, and it was really quite life-changing for those students. And many of the students that I took said that that conference and learning about music care actually impacted their career decision, either going into social work or into music from a community context. So I think that's pretty exciting. So where are we now? I'm going to walk through a little bit of the history, which we all know, but where are we now? Really brilliantly, Dan Cohen, which you might know from Music and Memory, Right to Music, he has said recently that Room 217 is the world leader in elevating standards of music's integration in aged care. And that's really quite exciting. I'm going to walk through the beginnings with you to where we are in Certify, but it's really quite exciting to see the journey and to be part of the journey that Room 217 has taken. But we're going to start with the mission, which we all know, which is really, we make life better with music. And that's the mission of Room 217. So what is the goal today? The goal of the masterclass is the introduction of Certify, the history. I personally think it's really interesting and important to see how Certify has evolved from the programming over the years that Bev and many others have been involved in. Shelley is on the call, and she has certainly been involved as an instructor and many other facets with Room 217. But update you on the new branding, on the website, on the Connect app, the Learn and Certify in the web portal, on the benefits of Certify for individuals. So specifically on this call, what does Certify individual mean for you, or what could it mean for you? A panel discussion with Shelley, and then if you're interested, how to apply, next steps, and grow. And again, maybe a point of just a housekeeping is that if you would like to ask a question, certainly, I think we're all familiar with Zoom at this point, but there is a chat function in the bar at the bottom of the screen. So the story. Bev's story actually is close. Well, I relate to her story because part of my desire to do a community of, music masters related to when my grandfather passed and how music impacted my grandfather at his time of passing. And so that's very much the evolution of Room 217. It was through Bev's story, the family experience when her father passed away, and how music influenced and impacted the role, his passing as a family. And I know she often says that they were very lucky because she comes from a very musical family. And so her passion, as we know, was to develop resources for others to use in care. And at that time, it was specifically in palliative care. And so Bev's mission really, and her family mission, was making life better with music. So the beginning started with palliative care resources and educational workshops and presentations, with a great interest in music and care from healthcare practitioners. So one of the things, Bev's background also was in music education. And so her mission was always to be very deeply rooted in training and in education. And what she noticed when she started designing and developing these resources and having touch points with care settings is a key question. And that was really emerging from organizations. And this was how to sustain music in care. So once, she started the process of working to bring music in care and the music care approach, really the question is how to sustain music in care. And that is a really critical piece that brings us to CERTIFY. So moving from there in 2013 to 2014, she developed the 10 domains of music care delivery. Some of these, it's kind of nice that we've all taken the music care approach because all of you are probably very familiar with this. And if not, it's a great refresher. But the development of those 10 domains of music care delivery, the definition, mapping, the optimization, and that was developed through 3 studies. In 2014 to 2015, she developed that music care training, competencies for individuals to integrate music into your regular care practice. As we know, just as a reminder, it's a 3-level training, 52 hours, and level 1, level 2, and level 3. And for those of you, some of you already have level 3, some of you have level 2. And just for those of you in level 2, just an FYI that the level 3 training is quite exciting. It's more of a mentorship approach where you develop your strategies within your own scope of practice. But from that training launching point, really developed the Partners Project. And she got some funding in 2017 for the Music Partners Pilot. And from there developed an integrated model of music care framework. And she piloted this or launched this in 3 long-term care homes. But then because of the overwhelming impact and evidence from that, she actually gained more funding, or the organization gained more funding to now launch this into 24 or 27 long-term care homes, or 24 more. And from this and from the learnings of the Partners Project, which really focused on music care initiatives and looking at the impact of those initiatives in specifically those long-term care settings, she actually had what she needed, or the organization had what they needed, to develop the CERTIFY program. And really, this is sort of where we've evolved. And it was really great. I know that also her story is that she was able to finish the work in those 27 homes, or almost finished, because that sort of ended as COVID began. So this music care approach, as we know, the integration of music into caregiving, into care contexts and care plans. And just a little reminder of what integration of that really, really does look like. So really, we go from training and products, the recollections, the partners, which used a lot of the products in actual care, to here. 3 pillars based on her own work over the years, the evolution from Room 217, from the past to the present. And really from this has evolved 3 main pillars of the programming. So we have Music Care Connect, and I have to say, you know, Room 217 has really pivoted in the time of COVID and adopted a lot of virtual programming. And so Music Care Connect is an app that you can use 24/7 in your care practice. Again, it was just launched in October. It's literally hot off the press, literally. And it takes the products, all those great musical products and conversation cards and all of those things, and it puts it into an app where you have it at your own disposal whenever you want for care settings. So you can create playlists or, you know, develop very person-centered care programming through the app, the Music Care Connect app. And then we have the Learn. The Learn is basically a hub. It's a hub of learning basically the 8 programs of music care. And we have Music Care Certify. And really, this is a quality improvement program for better care outcomes. So as I said, Music Care Connect is an app that you can download. I'll explain a little bit about the download later if this is something you're interested in. The cool thing is, if you decide, if you're Music Care certified, basically you get the app for free. So within the app, if you decide to try to be Music Care certified, the app, use of the app comes with that program, which is really quite exciting. And for those of you that might be aware of the pathways, all of that material, conversation cards, the pathways, all of the resources and assets from the library that has been happening over the years is actually on the app. So Music Care Learn. If you are, Music Care Learn is a membership, which is also part of Certify. So if you decide to certify, you become a member of the Music Care Learn, and this is a hub. And so on the Learning Hub, you have the conferences, training, master classes, speakers, resources, skills days, webinars, virtual learning studios. So all of those, I would say, educational resources are part of a hub that's now called Music Care Learn. And so if you're a certified member, you're automatically a member of Learn. And here we go, the exciting part. This is Certify. So Certify is for individuals, for organizations, and for products and services. Now, the products and services and the organizations are going to be launched in 2022. Right now, the organization side, we're beta testing it in one retirement residence and in one long-term care home. So organizations will be able to become Music Care certified in the new year, in 2022. And what's really exciting about that is just over in the new year, Lakeview in Beaverton, as well as Seasons in Milton, will become they're the beta testing homes, but they will become the first Music Care certified organizations in Canada. And that leads me to individuals. And there's an individual on the call today who's going to join us in just a moment, who is the actual first Music Care certified individual in Canada. So Music Care Certified for Individuals is basically a quality development program. All of Certify really is attaching a sense of quality, whether it's quality development or a quality insurance with the organizations. It's really bringing music care in to care spaces, into your scope of practice, but it's all about providing a quality standard for health and social care settings. It's a competency-based framework, so we're giving caregivers those skills needed to be able to use the music care approach, and all of you know that because you've taken the standard training. And really, if you become Music Care certified, we give you a seal and certification that allows you to be a certified music care advocate. And so this is just a chart to show you the difference between the organizations and the individual. As I said, it's quality development, competency-based education, it's educational, and it's, again, if you go through and become certified, you're recognized in the industry as an advocate of music care. So why is this why is this important? Well, it's we're finding, and even in the beta, that this is really a differentiator for employment. That now, that as especially post COVID, what's happened, especially in long-term care, is that we're noticing that things are going back a little bit more on the medical side with PPE and other practices. So there's a drive and a desire for programming, specifically people that have the skill set to use programming at their fingertips. And so this is really what we would call a differentiator for employment. And so the profile, if you become certified on the brand new website, and I'll show you in a moment, but there's a space for registry. And that means that we are building a registry on our own website that lists the profiles of all those individuals that are actually certified. Um, if you, and as I said before, if you become certified, you get the app to use in your care practice. So you can develop your own playlists. You can download things specific to a certain theme, like songs for dementia, etc. So there's playlists by mood and playlists already pre-established, and then the opportunity to build your own resources within the app. You become a member of Learn, and with that, you get a 50% discount to our virtual learning studios and our Music Care conference, which we're hoping to have a hybrid conference coming up in November. And then I personally find this really critical, and that is that we are wanting to support those, all of our learners, but those that are Music Care certified. We want to have exclusive meetups where we start to develop a sense of community, where we host meetups for conversation so that we can take down what is relevant and important to you, find themes emerging from what the needs are of our care community, and then develop master classes for you and connect you with industry leading professionals in this approach and others that connect to music care. So there are 2 exclusive meetups if you decide to become certified, and there are 4 master classes per year, and they're all free. So again, master classes and meetups are now part of CERTIFY if you're a certified individual. And I guess that's sort of where we are moving forward. Now, we're going to have a conversation with Shelley. So Shelley has gone through the process. And simply put, if you want to become certified, it happens after level 3. So you must complete all 3 levels of music care training, and then you can apply for certification. And basically, there are 3 assessments that you could. They're open book. We'll give you the manuals. It's open book that you finish an assessment for each level of training. And then we add you to the registry and we support you with those master classes and other things that I mentioned. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen so we can get a little bit more personal. But I'd like to invite Shelley. Tell us a bit about yourself and maybe how you came to Music Care Certify.
Well, it began when I had a very, very good friend who was a harpist as well. And she said, Shelley, I'm taking this program and you should really take it. It was called Music for Healing and Transitioning, an American program, very music care based. And she was using her harp to complete prescribed music at the bedside of the sick and the dying within a hospital context or long term care context. She was able to go into the baby nurseries right up to end of life. And it was like, yeah, I'm too busy. It's an American course. I don't want to fly to the States. And then I would put it off and put it off. And she kept saying, no, you got to do this. You got to do this. Well, what I was doing at the time was caring for my mother who had Alzheimer's. And she was in a lockdown facility in a long term care. And that was a pretty traumatic experience for her family. And we would take turns feeding her. We always made sure that there was someone with her in the unit to make sure she was safe and comfortable. So it was a December day, and Mom, I was wheeling her down to the lunchroom. And on the ward, there were many people that were nonverbal, they wandered, they had that sundowning even at lunchtime. And they were just, it was like Pac-Man watching them. And so Mom and I had gone down to get lunch, and as we got there, the door was locked. The staff was late. The staff is never late. The staff was late. And the energy in the hallway, in the corridor, started to escalate and escalate. And the Pac Mans got going wilder and wilder, and there was more agitated vocalizations. Now, the nurses, they were busy toileting and changing and preparing for lunch, so it was me. And being a primary teacher, what do? You sing. You sing. These are nonverbal people. They had lost their ability to speak. So I started, and I'm not a singer. Silent night, holy night, very gentle, very quiet. And as soon as I started there, the people stopped. There was a moment of calm, and then they sang with words. And not only did they sing, they sang in 4-part harmony. It startled the staff so much that they came running to see who had let the choir in. And that was the moment when I went, my friend's right. There's something here. There's some magic, but I need the science. So I went and I took the course through Music for Healing and Transitioning. They brought it up to Canada for a brief amount of time. And it was a wonderful course to begin with, but again, very American based. And their healthcare system is different than our healthcare system. And I kept thinking, I really want to be certified in my own country. At that time, there was a conference. And the conference was by Room 217, and that was way back in 2014, long before Music Care was even started. And my friend flew up from the States and came to get her continuing education units at this conference. And there was a little Room 217 booth. We both went up and said, when are you going to create a Canadian course? We want to be certified in music care in our own country. And Gail and I were given a clipboard, and they said, write your names down, and we'll get back to you. And they did. So at that point, when they phoned, they were piloting level 1, and then they piloted level 2, and then they piloted level 3. So I was in on the original ground floor of the music care program. Now, why did I want to do level 1, 2, and 3? Well, I'm married to a scientist, and I need to have the scientific reasons of why something is going to work. I need to be able to prove it and to prove it to people that I'm going to service. And that's what the Room 217 provided with me. My husband works with children with acquired brain injury at Holland Bloorview Kids Rehabilitation Hospital, and he had worked with Lee Bartel on using music to help with cognitive retraining. So I knew that I was in the right place, that Room 217 was going to give me what I needed, and I needed to have research, and I needed to have strategies to know what I was doing and why I was doing what I was doing. And as you know, you've gone through level 1 and level 2, and some of you level 3. Understanding what music does neurologically with the paranervous sympathetic nervous system, with the entrainment, and being able to articulate that when I go into a long-term care home or when I'm even just talking to families. So that's where it began. What I did after I finished training, we had our little teeny certifications, but that was more to say we had done the hours at level 1, level 2, level 3, but it wasn't really recognized at that point. So after my training, I still wanted to be involved with the organization, and I was able to complete and train the level 1 participants. And then I was asked to speak at a conference, as well as support the Music Care and the Partners pilot project as well. Now, why certify? And as we get into the questions later, I'll speak to that as well. So, Don?
Thanks for sharing that, Shelley, and sharing your journey through. Um, so going through some of the points, because again, Shelley has gone through. I know that it's very important for Room 217 that that there's a quality framework, and the premise of Certify is giving people the skills and the confidence to be able to bring music care into care places or into their scope of practice, and that's sort of one of the backbone or the structure or the reasons of why Certify. So as it's a quality development program, um, can you speak to that? What does a quality development program mean to you?
Uh, what I wanted was training. I wanted training based on research, which is what the original level 1, 2, 3 provided. And then what I needed in order to be a professional going into a long term care, even as a volunteer, I needed to be backed that I had trained and I was competent and that I was able to bring in care that was safe for the residents and also for the staff. Twice I got caught when I was training to be a music with music for healing and transitioning, where the thought of the staff was I was just an entertainer, and that they would throw me in a room of 18 people by myself to entertain with music. And what I needed was the words to say, no, wait a minute, this is why I'm here. I'm here because the research says it supports quality of life. It supports getting over isolation and depression. So I wanted that backing behind me. I also wanted the training of what does this mean neurologically and the 60 beats per minute and the entrainment. I needed that information. And then I needed the toolkit and the skills to go into a nursing home to prove that this actually works as well. So when certified came, I was like, yes, now I'm going to be able to prove with an organization that I have am certified, that I have trained in a quality program, that I have been deemed a person who is able to do this job, and that I will be protective and capacity building for your staff and the residents as well. So for me, it was a matter of um, being backed and research, having quality in the product that I was bringing to my care setting, but also having integrity. That I had been trained and I was a professional person with integrity to bring this program. So the certification made sure that there was quality in what I was doing and that I was backed with research and backed by a very strong program.
Thank you for that. And also, I just want to share too, when I was at the Toronto Symphony and developing the programming and the training part with Bev, it was really amazing how the music care training from the care side, we had partners with Baycrest, we had partners with the YMCA, Bright Spot, we had different partners with Princess Margaret, but it was really amazing that the difference that training made for both the musicians as individuals, even though they're professional musicians, they got so much out of um, being able to be more knowing when they were giving presentations, but also it gave a certain sense of confidence from the organizational side. And
That happened
so, yeah.
when I was dealing with a professional musician. I was talking about my
Mhm.
certification and what I was doing. And he goes, oh my goodness, that makes so much sense. This was a woodwind instrument professional. And he said, I just kind of went in there, well paid professional. I just went into the nursing home and I didn't really understand what to do or why to do it. And I played and they screamed because the timbre was wrong, the volume was incorrect, and he didn't know. He just thought you went in and played music. So that the certification really backs up that quality of experience.
And so, how is being music care certified a differentiator for you?
it's exceptionally important. That's why I'm taking a moment in that I didn't want to go back to that experience of she'll just entertain them while we were getting them ready for bed. I wanted to bring to people like my mom a quality program based on research, and that to prove that I was certified, I was had a capacity to do this. I had to prove myself, and that I was a woman presenting a program with integrity. It's if I am to teach and you are to give me your loved one, your little children, I need to be certified. You are giving me your mom or your dad or your grandma. I need to be certified to prove that I am doing the best job for that person in that setting. We want quality of life for these people.
And I think too, Bev, it's also the integration, the integration once you make those connections in the community or whatever care space you're in, the music care training that we all have, that approach and that background and the training in that gives us the tools that where organizations can integrate that into their everyday practices, their routines, and such. And so I want to move a little bit. For those of you that are interested in certification, a little reminder that you apply for certification after completing level 3, and I'll walk through a PowerPoint, in a moment, just sort of what it looks like. But I'm not sure if you're aware, but Room 217 has refreshed the curriculum. So it's pretty exciting, actually. It has a new look and a new feel with the website, the same principles and concepts. So the curriculum is very much rooted in the same philosophies, and the manual and the levels of training are very similar, but it has been updated and refreshed. And so if you decide to go for certification, there's an assessment for each level that you do on your own time, but we give you the new curriculum. It's open book. You work through the assessment for each level with the new manual, which is similar to the other, but has some updating and some modernization, I guess. And so can you give us, you got to do this, can you give us a little window into what that felt like for you?
I was actually terrified because I was part of the pilot program. I was trained in 2014, and it's what, 2021. So, oh my goodness. Yes, I had taught level 1 right up till the end of the pandemic started, and I had seen the changes with level 1, but I wasn't sure what had happened with level 2 and level 3. And my biggest fear has always been to that I was outdated, that I had forgotten stuff, that I wasn't as sharp as I needed to be. So this certification provided me with a chance to refresh. So it was an extremely interesting process. At first, terrified, thought I had the wrong materials, thought that I was too old to do this and to remember, and that I wasn't going to bring they needed to the program. And then I relaxed. I had my books and I had the assessment. And what was really nice is because it was open booked, I could take my time. And as I was going through the table of contents to match up with the assessment, it was nice to realize I hadn't forgotten, that I was okay, and to see for me in particular the evolution from 2014 to where Room 217 has come, which was reassuring to know that they were researching and upgrading themselves as well. So when you do take this, because you must, it's so good. It was such a beautiful time once my anxiety decreased and I started to read this. It was like, hello, old friend. It's nice to read you again. And I like the way you've grown. So, strongly recommended, and recommend doing it again. Also, with the understanding that the people at Room 217 really want you to succeed. They have trained you well enough to do this assessment. What they're doing is they're giving quality control and integrity to the people who are certified when they go out into a larger community to give the message of how music can change lives.
Thank you for that. And in a moment, I'm going to do a gallery walk for everybody of the website and if you're interested in what the benefits are. But before, as somebody that works in multiple care spaces, Shelley, what do you see the vision for the future of Music Care Certify, of music care in spaces? What does that look like to you?
I'm extremely excited about the vision because it takes music beyond the entertainment field into coming alongside other scopes of practice to be used in a medical way to improve quality of life. Quality of life from babies in nurseries, and I know Dawn's starting to bring in using it with children, but right up to honoring and valuing our seniors and our elders, especially as they go through some very difficult situations due to health issues and a decrease in mobility and memory issues. Music has been shown to improve the quality of life, to prevent depression, isolation, and to reduce the cost of medications as people learn to connect and be valued and honored through music and music helping their bodies.
Well, thank you. I'd like to thank Shelley very much. I'm going to open up for a question session in a moment, but I'd like to actually do a gallery walk a little bit so that if you're interested in this, just sort of how you can go about that for next steps. Um, and I would invite you if you want during the question session, feel free to turn your cameras on if you like, or just ask a question with your cameras off. But I'm going to share my screen again and just walk through a next step. Just give me 1 second to prepare that. Key features of Certify are really bringing your music care initiatives, gaining continuing education hours, being on the registry on the webpage. If you decide to do certification, it does mean that you become a member of Learn. And if you're a member of Learn, that means you get discounts on all of our VLSs and conferences. As well, you get the Music Care Connect app, which is really quite exciting. And master classes are free, as well as we are going to be organizing and giving meetups. So the benefits, as I said, are there. If you are in level 2, so if you haven't done your level 3 yet, you're sort of in the train arrow right here. And we have a level 3 coming up in January. If you'd like to join level 3, you can, and I'll explain that process in a second in terms of pricing. So you can join us for a level 3. There is an offering in January. And if you already have your level 3, you are ready to basically to apply. You have the training that is needed to be considered for certification. And really the next step is to log into our portal, create an account. And that is really critical because that is where you get access to certain things like the assessments and the manuals. And so you'll be able to download that beautiful new refresh curriculum right from the web portal. And again, I'm going to do a gallery walk so that you can see what that looks like in a moment. And Tanya is going to email this out tomorrow for those that are interested. She has been, I guess, corresponding and sent the Zoom link to those, but I'm also going to get her to put my email in the chat right now. So I'm also very open and willing to converse with those. Some people want that reassurance, or please call me directly if you have questions and you want to have a one-on-one about this process. But we will email you these instructions directly where you can apply. And so we have the current level 2 applicants. So if you would like to apply, really what you have to do is finish level 3, and we have that cohort happening in January. And if you are level 3, you can go ahead and there are steps where you can register on the portal and then we can make sure that you're able to apply. So we have that ready to go in email. And so pricing, what I've done, I think I'm going to do the gallery walk first and then go to pricing because it might make a little more sense. Going to thank you for your patience. Everybody sees the right screen. We had a little bit of tech issues earlier today. So here we go. This is pretty exciting actually. This was launched October 1st. This is our brand new website. And so this is all part of the refresh. So the 3 pillars that I told you about earlier are the Connect, which is the app, the learning community, and then Certify. So you'll notice that we still have the same resources, but what's brilliant, and I love how this is now organized on the website, is they are organizing our resources by topic, which might be helpful for some of you depending on what care context you're working in. But I'm going to go directly to the Connect app, because if you become certified, you get the app, which is pretty cool. So a music care app that fits in your pocket. Everybody can download this from either Google Play or Apple, the Apple Store. You just Music Care, all one word, and it is our app. You get a free trial. But before you do that, I'm going to give you a couple just tricks and tips on how to do that so that it'll interface with the web portal if you decide to do Certify. So again, you can download the app right after this call, and you can have a little scoot around the app and see the different offerings that it has. It's not just music, it's videos and conversation cards and all kinds of other goodies, and you can customize programs. So if you do Certify, you get the app. You also become a member of the learning community, which is a hub of opportunities and programs. As you know, some of these are paid. The conference is a paid activity, virtual learning studio. Also, those are things that you pay for. But as a certified member, you actually get 50% off of all our offerings, and master classes are free. And so then we go to Certify. So I don't know if you have a pen or a pencil. Again, we can email these instructions to you. But if you would like to become certified, you can actually start now. And you go to Certify, and we want individuals. As we said before, organizations, product and services, or individuals can become certified. You click on individual, and then literally, this is some information that you can download yourself. It contains some of the slides that I showed you today. But if you click on Start Individual Certification, this will take you to the portal where you create an account to get the manuals and the assessments. So again, if I go back just to walk through it, Certify, you're an individual that you're certifying for, and then Start Individual Certification. If I click there, it takes you to create an account. This is, oh, it logged me in. Just 1 second. It knows me. It remembers me. I don't want it to remember me. I want it to think it's somebody else. So hang on. Sorry. Just going to go back through and start individual certification. So this portal, you're going to create an account. Now, a really important tip, whatever email that you use to create an account on the portal, this is your portal where you're going to log in to get all the training and the manuals and the assessment. So this is like a teaching portal where the training happens. Whatever email that you use to create this portal, this email, if you go to the app on your smartphone and download the app, if you want the Connect app, it has to be the same email. Okay, and that's really critical. So and again, Tanya and I will send this information to you, but whatever email that you use for here, you want to make sure that you use the same email to log into the Connect app. Because if you sign up to be a certified student, the app has to recognize your email to give you the free subscription. Does that kind of make sense? So if the email doesn't match, it doesn't know that you have that subscription. Okay, so what you would do is first name, last name. If you want to put your work organization, you don't have to, but that email is really, really critical. So I'm going to log in as myself. Oh, I'm going to go back here. And this is sort of what it looks like when you go in. It'll look different for you, but it has, these are the 3 levels of training. So in any way, that for today, what we would love for you to do is, if you're interested, go to the individual section and create a student account. And then what we'd like you to do is just send me a personal email, and that's in the chat, dlsmobs@room217.ca. The reason why this is a little bumpy is because you already have training. So what I have to do is go in and check off that you've done your level 1 and 2, if that makes sense. So you create your account, but then you still need to email me if you're interested so that I can go in the back end and catch you up on the portal. Is that confusing, or does that make sense? It's all good? Okay. Yeah. And so then because the computer is going to assume that you've not done your training when we know that you have. So for new students, it's very easy. If you've never taken any training before, you go to the portal, you start in level 1 and you work through. But you guys already need credit for training. So that's why you need that extra step of emailing me so that I can mark that off in the system. Okay. So I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint for next steps. Okay. If any of you have a cell phone out there, you can also just take a picture of this in the screen if you want. Tanya can also email it. But you go there, you go to Certify, select individual, sign up on the portal, and then you email me. And then I'm going to go in the back end and update you. And I will send you, one of 2 things will happen. If you are level 2, you need to register for level 3 training in January. We will also have other sessions later in the year, but we do have an opening cohort in January, and we are open for 10 spots. So we have 10 spots open for a cohort in January for that level 3 training. And then you would finish and apply. Okay. As well, if you are a level 3 applicant, you still have the same process. You still need to go to the portal to get the new manuals and to apply for Certify. So you go, you create your student account, and then you email me because I need to check off that you've done your 3 levels of training so that you can apply to Certify. Again, it's a little different just because we have, you're not onboarding into the system from level 1. Okay, and just again, as a reiteration, Tanya's going to email all attendees in the morning to check in and see if you're interested. And if you'd like to have a personal meeting with me as well to help walk you through the process. So then here are the payment options. So I just want to, there's different things that you can get depending on what you need. So if Certify, I'm going to start with the pinkish column here. If you have level 3, $200 is the application to Certify, and it lasts a year, and it gives you a discount on all of our Learn. So you'll get 50% off all of the Learn, and you also will get the Connect app. So you get 50% off all of our other training, 4 free master classes, 2 peer meetups through the year, and the Connect app. And so that is, if you have level 3 already, that's the application. If you don't have level 3 and you need level 3, you can start in this column, and that is that you go online. Our level 3 course is $495. And after you do that, then the $200 fee kicks in for Certify. I think that kind of makes sense, right? And after that point, you can get the Connect app. However, if you want the Connect app right away, you want to use that, there is a Learn membership on the portal where it's also $200 just for the Learn membership. You can get the Connect app as well, and you get 30% off on savings for the course. So the course will cost you $346 instead of $495. And then after that, you would pay $200 to Certify. And if you were to do a la carte, not really sure what you want to sign up for, so you start with level 3, and then maybe you want to get the app on its own, it's $9.99 a month, and then you apply for certification, it would be $800. Now, I know this might be confusing for some of where we are in the process. That's why I'm offering my personal email, and Tanya's going to email you some instructions. And at this point, I'd love to open up for
Okay.
questions.
Yeah. Don, can I just, share something with you? I was
Sure.
listening, Okay, first of all, I would like to thank, and I am very much familiar with the Room 217, and Bev was my respected teacher. I had finished my 3 levels. At last level, I had an opportunity to work with Bev very closely when I was doing my level 3, and I completed my research, and I submitted my project proposal, right?
Yeah.
And I worked with close, and Bev guided me a lot to develop the project, right? That project proposal I submitted for my long-term care home, and I had a long experience working in long-term care home, 8 years. Now, recently, I have joined Michael Garden Hospital as a recreation coordinator. It's another big challenge for me. I've
Yeah.
already teach, and there I'm carrying all my, lessons and teaching methods that I learned from my respected teacher, Bev Foster. I'm very much
Yes.
grateful to Bev. And still, I'm very close. I'm in touch with Bev. Bev knows my name, Dilip, very well. I'm very much familiar with Bev. And it's my pleasure. Now I'm ready to jump on next year because I was waiting because Bev, when I was doing my level 3, at that time Bev was saying, Dilip, certification, I'm planning. But now a dream came true, and probably you have launched, you have developed the module and all these things. And I was listening, Shelley Neal, Miss Shelley Neal. Thank you very much, Shelley, and for your sharing. I was listening because I have a variety of experience. Still, I joined hospital setup transitional care unit. It's a big challenge. It's a very challenging environment I'm working with right now. I'm trying to incorporate all my 8 years skills, expertise that I developed working in long-term care home as a recreationist, activationist, right? So during that time, I attended all the 3 levels, and I finished that. And that is, I hope, and these things, and one thing always, Babe says, if you want to be certified, if you want to be a music care advocate, you don't need to be a professional musician. So you have to have that kind of sense so that you can incorporate. And as Shelley Neal said, so always I'm doing research, and I always believe learning is a continuous process. I always believe in our field, recreational field, non-pharmacological approach, because it has been considered to be a treatment right now. Treatment. Okay, so recreation therapy. Now I'm a recreation therapist, right? Therapeutic recreationist. I am professional. So that's why I'm saying it is a very strong component that I am using all the time. Music, right? It could be vocal, it could be instrumental, and all these things. And as research is going on, it varies from person to person when music will be applied and how it can impact. It depends on the scenario. I always believe in my reality, and I always say every day is new to me, and every day I'm learning from my clients, from my residents, from my family members, because learning is a continuous process. So music, I think that it's a good decision that Bev has taken to be certified, so that this kind of thing will be helping us to navigate, right? And now music has been proved to be a strong component. For the last 8 years, I am applying this therapy. And one-on-one, just a therapeutic intervention, my group setting, my large, small, one-on-one, I'm applying this in a variety of musical instruments. And my drumming is a very successful program, drumming, hand drum, and all these things. And personally, me, I'm trained in African drumming, just kin kini dun dun. I'm trained personally. So I'm applying those things. So that's why I'm very much grateful to Room 217, especially my teacher, Bev Foster. And please, just I have already messaged you that I would like to know the details. So tomorrow I want to just do my apply, because I am very much interested to do my certification. Okay.
Okay, you know what? Thank you. And by the way, you just explained differentiation, perfectly about why this matters, why this is a differentiator in your care practice. So congratulations on your position. And
Thank you.
I start work at 8:30, so I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, please, no problem. Dawn, please send me the details so that I can jump on right away. And tomorrow I want to do my application. So I want to start. I want to be in the 10 empty spots. Okay, and tell my name to Bev, because Bev is my always. Sometimes when I talk to Bev, and whenever Bev knows that I have already joined, Michael Garron Hospital. It's a new unit, complex care unit. It's a very challenging unit because that elderly people there, number of elderly people are getting increasing day by day. So long-term care home is a long queue. So we are providing care, keeping them in that complex. So it's a very challenging, and we are helping a lot in our community, East York, Toronto, right? So that is a good thing. So pray for me, and I'm carrying on my advices, suggestions, and lessons that I learned from my Reverend teacher, Bev Foster. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And that is very inspiring. Are there any other questions? Any way that I can help those?
I just have a question for clarification. So you said that the Connect was included with the Certify, but when you were showing the graph, it looked like you'd be paying $200 every year after, like, is that right?
Connect. So the certification to be current is yearly. Thank you, Leanne. Thank you for that that information. So it's $200 to certify, and then it's $120 each year after for recertification. But it gives you the app. So as you and that is continuous. So and it also the great thing, and I know because I always went to her conferences and all of that stuff, which have a fee. If you are a Certify member, everything that used to cost is now at 50% to you. So it's $200 the first time that you apply, because there's more to the assessment and stuff. But then you get with that, you get the Learn membership, so you have access, at a 50% discount. You get the 4 master classes, an exclusive one, and you get the meetups as well as the app. And then every year after that, it's $120 to certify, but you still get everything that you had before. I see Dawn from Alberta. Are there any other questions? I'm opening the floor. So again, if you're confused or you're not sure, just send me an email. Tanya's going to be sending an information out to everybody. I want to thank Shelley. I want to thank Tanya as well, and everyone on the call. I know that it's been tiring times, especially for those working in care settings with COVID. And you've inspired me. We'll leave on a quote that Bev says, and that is that we're people, not pathologies, right? So if you were talking about your job at, and recreation therapy, and so the mission to bring music and care, and that we're people, the humanization of this approach. So I bid everybody a great evening. You can reach me by email, and it's a pleasure to get to speak with you. And thanks to everyone.
Thank you very much, Dawn. Thank you very much for presentation. And Shelley, thank you very much. And keep going. At some point, I will be coming across you. Don't worry, okay?
Thank you.
World is very small. Thank you very much, everybody. Okay, see you.
Thanks
Thank you very much.
Thank you.